Hey Internet, Eric here. It's October, and I decided a theme for this month is going to be horror movies I have never seen. Last video I did, while I started off, the first movie I discussed was Horror of Dracula with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. That movie was fantastic. I'm going to be honest and say today's discussion is going to be a step down. The main reason why I chose this film is I got it free from Frenzy. And Frenzy sent it to me, and he said it's an underrated slasher of the 80s. And then I'm also good friends with Knight and Coriander over on the Night Watch Zone. And on Monday nights, they have a gimmick, I guess you would say, called Slasher Movie Club, or a concept, where they just discuss random slasher movies. And let's just say this one wouldn't be on the top of their list. I'm sure they wouldn't agree with Frenzy. Today, I'm going to discuss, we'll find out who's right, who's wrong, 1981's Madman. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot, spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. The plot to this, the super fucking thin plot, what do you expect, is it's a summer camp, or I guess you would say camp during the fall because everyone's wearing fucking coats. The movie starts off and we hear the story of Madman Marz. Basically, you find out his backstory, and he was a man, went psycho, killed his family, and then he was hung by the townspeople due to street justice. And what happens was the next day they went to go find the body, and the body was gone. Ooh, wooga booga. And if you, I guess you would say, if you call his name out, he comes to get you. Of course, one of the counselors or helpers calls out Madman Marz. He shows up and kills everybody. Hilarity ensues. Um, hmm. All right, let's get with the acting. You get what you're getting, what you expect in this movie. It's not good. It's not awful. It's not like Mark Polonia, who probably grabs a random person off the street, shoves a script in their face, and says, "Read this while I record it." But it's not very good. It's not cringy, but it can be eye rolling in parts. The only person I think actually put in a good effort, or bless their hearts tried, was I guess you would say the owner of the camp, the guy who runs it all, the Steve Christie of the group. And he's hardly in it, sadly. I like him in the very beginning when he's telling the ghost story of Madman Marz around the campfire. And he's very quiet and whispers, kind of like this. He pauses at the right time when telling the ghost story. It's a great delivery. And then he disappears for half the movie and then shows up at the end when everybody's dead. Everybody else is just kind of there. You know what I mean? It's not the worst, but man, it could have been a lot better. Let's get with some of the positives though. I really liked the way this began. I loved how it was just a ghost story around the campfire to scare some of the children. And I liked how the Steve Christie character, that's what I'm going to call him, was reprimanded later, or it was suggested that he didn't tell these ghost stories to the younger kids because they get scared. Like I said, his delivery was great. I liked the story of Madman Marz. Just this mean old asshole hillbilly who lived in a house in the woods. One night went psycho, killed his wife and his two children with an axe, then went to the bar, got drunk. The townspeople found out. They strung him up, hung him from a tree, like they sliced part of his face, and then they left him there for dead. The next day, like I said in the intro, he is gone. I liked that. I liked a little bit of the look. They showed a little bit of them trying to hang him. It gave that cool, creepy ghost story feeling. I like the way the opening credits are with just this red font and trees, kind of like an illustration of trees superimposed. A good, fun, guess you would say, ballad of Madman Marz. It plays in the beginning. That's fun. It reminded me a little bit of My Bloody Valentine, the Ballad of Harry something or other. I can't remember his name, but let's see here. What else is good? Whoever this director is has a lot of good shots. With the camera. There is a shot where someone's looking into the trees after they call Madman Marz. That one guy I said calls Madman Marz. And one of them thinks he sees Madman in the trees, but it's the branches and stuff like that. There's a very good use of shadows in this. Madman, hiding in the shadows and just kind of appearing like in kind of like that scene in Halloween where Michael's face just kind of appears in the darkness behind Laurie. We see Madman in the darkness, and I like that. I'm sure he was either trying to rip rip it off or give an homage to it. Overall, I like the look of Madman Marz. This is this big, fat, dumpy hillbilly, long gray hair, big fuck you beard, overalls, carrying an axe. I like how he's barefoot. I don't know why, but I like how he's barefoot. I like how he runs after people. When he's looking for them, you see him running in the background. He's not just this slow, walker. I like that a lot. I don't know what it is. You feel cold watching this, not just because of them always wearing jackets and seeing the breath. You feel it. You have this creepy feel watching this, and a lot of it is shot at night, and the use of the darkness and the use of the shadows still makes it feel like it's this old ghost story. Because eventually we do go into Madman Marz's home. We only really see his basement, but it is cool seeing we don't really see his face until the end of the movie, which is a good thing. But we see a lot of times just legs of the bodies being dragged on the ground down into the cellar, stuff like that. I like a lot of the stalking scenes are okay. A couple of the stalking scenes are okay. When one of the guy is getting chased in the woods with by Madman. Madman uses an axe, and he trips and falls, and then he moves his head out of the way so quickly, and then the axe goes right into the tree. I'm sure that wasn't any stunt work involved. They were literally just swinging at the tree type of thing. So that was good. Now, other than the acting, let's get to the problems of this movie. This movie is under an hour and 30 minutes, and there's a lot of padding in this. There's a lot. I'm not talking about, shout out to American Werewolf in New Jersey. We recently talked about Blackula. I'm not talking about watching a person walk down the street for 3 fucking minutes to make it, longer type of padding. But there are lots of scenes where someone walks into Madman Marz's house, walks halfway up the stairs, turns around and walks around. Walking with a shotgun for 30 seconds that we don't really need. That type of stuff. So we have that. The kills are sadly pretty lame for the most part of this movie. One dude is going to get hung from a tree. He gets the noose put around him, and he literally just stands there. And then he's pulled up. I like how, he's pulled up, and I like how he's able to help himself. He's pushing against the tree branch, you know what I mean? So he doesn't get strangled. I like how when Madman ties up the tree, the noose, he comes by and he just kind of pulls him down to snap his neck type of thing. But just the fact that he's just standing there, you know what I mean, with the noose around his neck is lame. I mentioned some of the chase scenes. A lot of these people, when they're afraid, you'd think they'd be running away really, 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 really fast. You think that when they're being dragged, they'd be fighting Madman Marz. But no, they're just kind of, that type of stuff. Come on. Shout out to Night. There is a scene where, not Annie Brackett from Halloween 70, and I'm just saying that because she's got the same hairstyle, very skinny white lady, looks like her. She's, air quotes, running away from Madman Marz, and I know this is the part he talks about. She literally gets into the kitchen, pulls everything out of the fridge, and hides in the refrigerator while he's walking around. Now listen, okay, I know it's a dumb idea, because we've all seen Punky Brewster. We know what happened when Cherry got locked in the refrigerator and stuff like that. And if you're in that, moment, I guess you'll do anything to hide, but you're dead regardless. There's no way you're opening that fucking thing. It was just more padding. And then she gets out, she walks around, looks for him, more padding. Boom, axe to the chest. Decent effect. Give it that. But just the whole situation was just long and stupid. And let's get to the other kills. A lot of these kills do happen off screen, but we do see the body with the decapitation. Decapitated heads, especially in the 80s, looked like trash. And they do here too. They fall down. You have the stump that just looks like garbage. You have the blood squirting out like garbage. They've always looked like garbage in these type of films. But I will say the axe to the chest and the surprise kill, I won't spoil that one, that got me, is pretty good. But overall, they're lame. The gore, again, isn't that great. We have, a neck slit that looks meh. Someone gets slashed in the face by Madman Marz's fingernails. That looks decent. But overall, it's just kind of disappointing. But it's like they got a budget of 50 cents. So you get what you pay for. The ending. How they defeated Madman Marz, or did they? That's one of those things. Again, the survivor, I'll call her Blondie. She's the one walking around with a shotgun. Now, she's the one that did the accidental kill with the shotgun. You'd think while she's in Madman Marz's house, when something falls behind her, she wouldn't already turn and shoot right away, because that's what happened. But she gets clawed by Madman. She's the one that's being dragged away and going, ah, doing nothing to fight. She gets put on a meat hook. Looks decent. And then she just happens to have a knife. And even though Madman Marz is walking away, she's able to reach and stab him with a pocket knife. And I'm talking like lame, skinny pocket knife. Pulls out a lighter. And there's straw in the basement, of course. And she sets that on fire. And then again, more panning. We just focus on the lighter for a long time. Is Madman Marz dead? Did the house burn down? We don't fucking know, because Steve Christy pulls up, finds one of the kids surviving, and he says, Madman Marz, he's real. I did like how, while we're focusing on that dumb person's eyeballs, they kind of fade away, and then we see all the bodies put together. So Madman Marz is probably still alive, type of thing. I did say we do finally do, how would I say this? We don't get to see Madman Marz's face until the very end of the movie. You can tell it's a dude under a mask, and if it's not, it's really bad makeup. But it adds to how cheesy and dumb this movie is, okay? He's got oversized hands with oversized fingernails. When he's trying to reach in the bus, you can see one of the fingers kind of bend, like it's plastic Halloween or rubber Halloween glove. It's bad. But again, there's some good creepiness to it. I like, sometimes you just see his hand, going towards people, stuff like. So it's like 50-50 with this movie. Overall, what do I say about Madman? Who do I agree with? Do I agree with Frenzy, or do I agree with the Night Watch Zone? I don't know. All I'm going to say is this. Underrated? I don't know. Piece of garbage? I mean, I'm not going to quote Night Watch Zone. It's not a piece of garbage. It's a fun movie if you are inviting, like, my buddy Derek over. Like, we come over and we watch stupid shit like Samurai Cop, or what did we watch? Ninja 3, The Domination, and Hamburger the Motion Picture. If it's a night like that, and you're having friends over for bad movie night, this would be a fun one to discuss, to watch. But is it underrated? I don't know. I've seen a hell of a lot worse. I was expecting a hell of a lot worse. So I'll say it exists. It's decent. It's a hell of a lot better than Don't Go Into the Woods. But it's no The Prowler. Well, The Prowler is kind of boring in the middle. I was never really bored in this, but not necessarily, I'm paying attention for not necessarily the best reasons. Anyways, Madman. Decent at best. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen this movie. Who's right? Is Frenzy right saying it's underrated? Is Night Watch Zone, are they saying it's not good? Am I, playing too easy with my description? I don't know. Anyways, I've talked too much about this movie. Hope to see you guys live this Friday the 13th. Frenzy and I are getting back together. The two Beardeloos are reunited for a Friday the 13th live stream at 8 p.m. Central Time. We're going to discuss the fucked up timeline. We're going to fun factor score the entire franchise. We're taking some questions. Mel threw in some Marry, Fuck, Kill stuff. Go figure. And then I got more stuff planned for horror movies I've never seen for this October. Rambling too much. Cheers.